The marketplace was a cacophony of chaos, a swirling storm of voices, scents, and desperation that pressed against Lyra's senses like a physical weight. The air hung heavy with the tang of sweat, the metallic bite of iron chains, and the faint, sour undertone of fear that clung to the auction block at the square's heart. The wooden platform, weathered and stained with the ghosts of countless transactions, stood as a grim monument to broken lives. Merchants in gaudy silks haggled over livestock and trinkets, their voices sharp and greedy, while ragged onlookers whispered bets on who, or what, would fetch the highest price today. Lyra stood at the edge of the throng, her thin frame half hidden beneath a threadbare cloak that did little to shield her from the late autumn wind slicing through the square. Her fingers, calloused and trembling, clutched the 3 copper coins in her pocket, her entire wealth, scraped from a month of scavenging in the city's shadowed alleys. They were warm from her grip, a small anchor in the storm of her uncertainty. She wasn't here for the barrels of grain or the caged songbirds. Her eyes, sharp and gray as storm clouds, were fixed on the figure chained at the center of the auction block. The Alpha. His name, carried on the whispers of the crowd, was Kale. Even bound, he was a force of nature, his presence commanding the square like a storm cloud over a parched plain. Towering over the guards who flanked him, his broad shoulders strained against the heavy, enchanted chains that gleamed with a sickly green light. His dark hair, matted with dirt and sweat, fell in uneven strands across a face carved with defiance, high cheekbones, a jaw sharp enough to cut stone, and eyes that burned a molten gold, fierce and unyielding. The auctioneer, a wiry man with a voice that boomed like a drum, listed Kale's attributes with the practiced cadence of a merchant hawking rare spices: strength unmatched, reflexes honed by battle, a lineage tracing back to the ancient wolf packs that once ruled the wilds. A true alpha, he declared, his arms sweeping wide to stoke the crowd's fervor. A warrior born, a leader unbroken. Who will claim this prize? Lyra's heart thudded against her ribs, a wild rhythm that matched the pulse of the crowd. She saw more than the spectacle they cheered for. Beneath Kale's defiant glare, she caught the faint tremor in his clenched fists, the subtle slump of exhaustion in his shoulders. His chains weren't just iron, they were laced with magic, designed to sap his strength, to keep him docile. But nothing could dim the fire in his eyes, a spark of something wild and unbroken that called to her in a way she couldn't explain. Lyra was no stranger to cages, not the iron kind but the ones built of poverty and scorn. She was a nobody, a runaway from a village that had cast her out, a scavenger surviving on scraps, a girl with no pack, no name, no future. Yet something in Kale's gaze mirrored her own stubborn heart, a Rufus.